Hi, this is Anthony, and today is day 9 of 365 days of bringing you some live video clips for the year 2026. I hope you had a great week, that you're having a good Friday, and that your weekend ahead is blessed. Last week, we took a look at Proverbs 3, 5 through 8. Tonight and this week, I want to take a look at something a little bit more personal and be a little bit more vulnerable with you, if I may. I am 45 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I have struggled with anxiety, depression, and seasonal affective disorder. I know that for many of you, these long, dark, gray Pacific Northwest days can be really difficult to deal with, and that you long for the sunshine that the spring brings. I grew up in the 1980s and 90s, and during that season of our culture and the seasons before that, things like depression, mental illness, anxiety, panic attacks, etc., things like that were often spoken of in sort of hushed, quiet tones. During my generation, these things were starting to be discussed more openly, but certainly not enough. Within society, people didn't talk about these things very openly, and within the church, people didn't talk about these things very openly either. Now, both society and the church, I believe, had really good intentions of not discussing these things the way that they should have been discussed, but despite the good intentions, it caused a lot of damage. The reason why is because if people don't talk about their issues, when you have an issue, you feel as though you can't talk about it because you might receive judgment or shame. People might think differently of you, or even in the church, people might think that you're not very spiritual, that you don't have enough faith, that you're not a really good or mature Christian because you struggle. And Christians aren't supposed to struggle, right? Sadly, wrong. Over the course of the next week, I want you to know for the year 2026 that if you're struggling with things, or if you struggle with things like anxiety, depression, seasonal affective disorder, mental illness, mental health issues, I want you to know that you are not alone. That you're not crazy, you're not weird, you're not strange, that you struggle and deal with such things. And that we should bring these things out into the open, into the light, like 1 John chapter 1 tells us. Here's where I want to leave this thought for today.